Barcelona Ferran Torres might make U-turn to Premier League, and also Victor Roque is going out of Barcelona, as well as Arsenal signing a new goalkeeper from Spain. West Ham are looking forward to make signings after losing their first Premier League game. What's up, guys? If you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video. With me is Samir, Eddie, and Emmanuel. Barcelona, Victor Roque is going out of Barcelona this transfer window. What do you think about that?
As a Barca fan, I'm very, 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 very disappointed in the board. That is Laporta and also Deco. Looking at the way our transfers has been, it's really sad. Let me start with Victor Roque. We bought him last season for an amount of 35 million. Barcelona is not done paying this kid. But at the end of the year, we see Barca finding a way out for this guy. This shows that Barca, for some time now, have not been able to plan very well. Just like how we let go of Gundogan, who is currently back into Manchester City. So as a Barca fan, I'm really, really sad looking at what the board is doing. And I just hope that this season will not be a blunder.
Just hope that this season will not be a blunder. Ferran Torres, we all know, was in Manchester City. It didn't work out, and he went back to Barcelona because Barcelona were desperate getting the striker. And right now, it's like Newcastle United is really interested in getting the signature of the Spaniard. Your opinion?
Yeah, in the first place, he shouldn't have moved to Barcelona. His style of football is not like the Barcelona standard, He's a good player, but he can't play for this Barcelona team. Though it's a young squad that they are trying to make it work, but the players like Ferran Torres, they are just backup players. They are not starters in the team. Yeah, so when you move to a club like Barcelona, they expect more from you. I feel like maybe you should have moved to lesser teams in maybe the Premier League or even the Italian Serie A, those top teams in the Italian Serie A. Maybe you could have performed better over there. Most of the Spanish boys too, they like to go back to their country to play for one of those big clubs like either Real Madrid or Barcelona. So I'm not surprised he went to Barcelona. For sure, if he wants to move, I think it's the best decision for Nobel because I don't think he'll be part of Hansi Flick's team this season. I doubt. Because looking at how Flick is playing, maybe he'll wait for these guys to come back, Gavi and Pedri, and the inclusion of Dani Olmo. It will be very difficult for him to get into the team. So I think it's the best decision for him to just move now before it becomes late. Yeah, because now the window is still open and we have about a week or two. It's better to push for a move now than wait for the later stages that he will not get any club and he will still be on the bench for Barcelona.
Kingsley Coman is ready to leave Bayern Munich, and his options are open clearly. Barcelona is interested, PSG is interested, and other Premier League clubs are really interested. Where do you think his preferred choice will be?
All right, so concerning Kingsley Coman, I think he is one of the great players I think we know. And since I think he's leaving Bayern, I think he should consider one of the big clubs as well to play because he's a top player. And Barcelona and I think PSG are top-notch clubs to play for. But him landing in PSG will be a flop for him. So I think Barca will probably work out for him or landing in one of the big clubs in England as well. Yeah. So I won't be surprised to see him, I think, in that Arsenal, Newcastle. Newcastle have solid guys, and any club I think he lands in will be great. Yeah, that's all I can say about Kingsley Coman.
Ipswich.
Napoli
Yeah,
have signed with Neres.
yeah. I think he's.
You can continue.
Yeah, I think he's one of those players that his growth has declined. That has been for me. I was surprised see him moving to Benfica because we all saw him last. I think 2 or 3 seasons when they were performing massively in the Champions League. They're going to Santiago Bernabeu, scoring Real Madrid. We all saw the performances of him and the other guys like Hakim Ziyech and the Van de Beeks and Matthias de Ligt. For me, I think his move to Benfica wasn't necessary. He could have moved to a more established team because his performance wasn't that bad. He was like an integral member in that team and he could have played for any other top team in Europe. Maybe his agent wasn't to the best of his performance that he could just push for a move in maybe one of those top flights leagues like the big clubs over there. Now he's going back to Napoli. I think it's a start. Yeah, you can start from there. playing about a season because he's still young, playing about a season or 2 seasons for Napoli, then he can just get back to his feet like the David Neres we used to know. He's going to play with players like Kvaratskhelia, and if Victor Osimhen too will stay, we will get Kvaratskhelia on the left, and maybe probably he'll be on the right, benching Matthias Politano. For me, I think Napoli are trying to also build their team, and Antonio Conte has quite some good players at his disposal. We wish him the best in his Napoli career, but I feel like he could have moved to a bigger team about a couple of seasons or.
We wish Conte the best in the coming season. I mean, I don't know whether Barcelona issue is it misplacement of fans, desperation, or what is really wrong with the board and management of Barcelona. Gundogan, we all know how better or how good he is, but yet can still not fit in with his own national coach, that is Hans Flick. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think to answer your question, it entails everything: mismanagement, lack of vision, and unwillingness to tell the truth. And we all know Barca have been suffering for quite some time now, but then they always try to hide the problems in the team. Not just talking of Gundogan alone. We realize that we had some players like Aubameyang, some players like Memphis Depay, some players like Young, who all came in and left the following season. And that is what Barca have been doing for some time now, and it's very wrong. Looking at a player like Gundogan, who played more matches than any of the midfielders in Barca, who had no issue with injury, who was solid and gave us at least an 8/10 performance, was the one to be targeted. And now, as I said earlier, this is not just in Barca. I think the teams are using this to get players out. It came that the Gundogan said he wanted a way out, which was not true. It was the board trying to push this man out in order to get the opportunity to sign Dani Olmo and other stuff. So I think it's really sad, but then it's a good purchase for Man City, and I wish him all the best.
The Chelsea link with Chisa is not something that is real. It's not real for sure. And also, Pedro Neto, who has just arrived in Chelsea, will be taking Raheem Sterling jersey number 7. So it means that Raheem Sterling right now is not part of the plans for Chelsea any longer.
Spoken yet.
West Ham are going in for Carlos Souls. What do you think
Soler.
about that deal?
Carlos Soler,
Asule, yeah, okay.
All right, so talking of, it's now back to West Ham United. West Ham United has make one of some of the solid, I think, purchases in this transfer window. We could see a full group from I think Dortmund, and I think one or two other players as well. And now back to Carlos Soler also being, I think, their targets, and I think they will probably make sure that they see this deal done before the end of this transfer window. And I think what their purchases are always good and they're always top notch. You saw like their performance last season with the guys like Mohamed Kudus, I think, helping out, and one or two other players. So this season particularly, we should watch out for West Ham United. Although they couldn't get the win they expected, I think, during their first game. But with this purchase, I think they should be one of the clubs you should watch out for this season.
Whilst Luka Modrić still desperate of playing 2026 World Cup, Manuel Neuer is putting down his boots for national team. Emma, Oliver Skipp, we all know Leicester City hold it down to Tottenham 1-1 draw at home, but then their target was in the stands watching the match. And I hope the deal has been completed already. What do you think about that move?
yeah, paying £20 million for Oliver Skipp, it's quite a normal fee. Leicester City, I think they're also trying to add one or two players to their team. For me, they've not been like vibrant in this transfer window. They are more like slow. I was really surprised they were able to like do that signing. They are not new to the Premier League, but they just got promoted. They left, I think, last 2 seasons. Yeah. So for me, I think they will need one or two inclusions in their team for them to like perform. At the highest level. We saw them against Tottenham Hotspur, and their performance wasn't that bad. With the inclusion of guys like Fatah Ushak, who has now been signed permanently for Sporting CP, they can add Oliver Skip and other guys, and Jimmy Vardy in front of the goalpost for them. They can do something in the Premier League. For me, I feel like they are going to stay. Yeah, they are going to stay in the Premier League. So they have to make one or two purchases, and they are good to go. Yeah.
They're going to stay in the Premier League with Isahaku fantastic assist during the during Monday football. But for sure, maybe they are also afraid of maybe breaking the PFF rule because they have been punished in the championship. And I'm also hearing some news that with this points deduction also, I'm not sure of that because I saw them being punished in the championship point deduction for sure. Thierry Henry, Sami, he has resigned from under 21 France under 21 national team. Could we know the reason why he has turned down his resignation?
I think he's done what he could do, especially taking the Olympic team, and taking them to the final, but unfortunately was not able to get the medal. I think it's now time for him to explore and come into football as in club football, club side. Looking at these teams who are new to the system, I think if he can start from there, it will really help him. Going to Spain will really help him, even if he starts from EPL too, it will help him. So I think there was some communications here and there, and now they are trying to get him a club team. So very soon, I'm sure we'll see him linked to one of these teams, and then we'll see where he lands.
Eddie Dybala is now on his, or he has almost done for sure. He's now on his way to Arab League. What do you think about that?
All right. So concerning this Arab Pro League, once this top players, you think once they are approaching their retirement, they think of, I think, securing the bag. That has been the motive now. So I think Dybala moving to El Cadiz is not it's not a bad move. Of all things what we could see from Dybala. So I think it's a good move for him. It's also I think get some playing time, secure the bag as well, and I think you just come back again. Yeah. So it's a good move for him. That has been the targets.
Atlanta are actually looking forward for around 40 million for Ademola Lookman. And PSG have already moved to the player, giving him a weight of 4.5 million per season. What do you think about it? Is it a good deal for the player or PSG?
Yeah, it's a good deal for the player, but the player has to stay at Atlanta. He shouldn't move to PSG. Yeah, for me, I think his level is not up to the PSG standard. Yeah, he has to. They have players like Barcola who are still playing for the club. They have wingers who can play. For me, Ademola Lookman just had like one wonderful season with Atalanta. He's not that guy. Like we know, the guys in Europe. Ademola Lookman is just an average player, but he just had a good season, a fantastic season last season. That's all. Yeah, PSG for me, they just saw what he did in the finals, and they felt like, okay, let's go in for this guy. But I don't know what he's going to add to the PSG team. We saw players like Kylian Mbappe playing for the club, and PSG was the same PSG. So Ademola Lookman is not going to add anything special to the Paris Saint-Germain team. Yeah, so I think for me, it's a good fee. As an African, he can go and get the money and everything. But if you are saying in sporting wise for his career, personally, I think he has to stay at Atlanta Bergamo and continue playing for the club. He shouldn't move to PSG. If he's going for the money, that's fine. But if he's going for like football, then he should stay at Atalanta. Yeah.
More room for improvement and any additions.
I want to
Maybe
disagree
if we
with
don't.
what I want to disagree with what Iman said, saying that he doesn't have the quality, comparing him to someone like Bakola. Then it means Iman is not being fair to
Now
a
Bakola is
player.
that guy. Bakola,
No, no,
we've
no,
seen
you are not.
Bakola for the.
It means we have seen Atlanta. That means you don't watch Serie A.
No, I
Because
watched Syria and
this guy
I've
this
seen
guy
Ademola
has
Lookman's
been
performance.
this guy has
Same,
been top. I'm coming.
okay.
Let me land. Also matters a lot. If you are not given the services and if you are growing, when you come into a new team, it helps you grow more. So looking at PSG and looking at the way he plays, he's a more direct player. He's not a player who wants to entertain the fans. He's bringing the ball to you, and he can create some goals for you. So if he comes to that team, it's rather an improvement for him. But if you are saying that he's not up to that standard, then where do you want him to play? Because I can
So
give you an
Same,
example
let
like
me ask you this simple
Thomas
question.
Partey to Arsenal. Thomas Partey to Arsenal. At the time that Thomas Partey came to Arsenal, his form was dropped, and you know it. But when he came to Arsenal, it improved him because of the people around him. And the same thing, that's what happens to players. You're not being
So,
fair
so I mean,
to our brother.
if Barcelona are to sign a right winger and you have the options like Barcola and Ademola Lookman, will you go for Ademola Lookman?
Yes, I'll do that.
All right, that's fine.
Before I go, more room for improvement. Sammy, tell us about Arsenal goalkeeper signature because I nearly forgot about that.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
self like
see. I didn't
I've
see.
forgotten his name. So let's use it
Nah.
like a Spanish goalkeeper. That's all, Charlie. Then we
Uh-huh,
just
okay,
go.
okay.
Yeah.
Then Charlie
Yeah.
Imaka.
So yes, I feel like Arsenal not being fair to Aaron Ramsdale. First of all, you benched him with a Spanish goalkeeper. Now you're going to replace him with a Spanish goalkeeper as a backup. Like it doesn't make sense in any way. I feel like Mikel Arteta is being personal with this Aaron Ramsdale deal. For me, if he's moving to Wolverhampton Wanderers, they already have a goalkeeper in the person of Joseph Sa or something like that. He's the Portuguese international. It'll be difficult for him to get in the team. For me, I feel like Gareth O'Neill has also built his club around those guys. And you coming in without even having preseason with them, you still be on the bench. Maybe after 2 or 3 games, then when they see your performance, they will let you be in the goalpost. For me, I think they should just leave him for him to be a backup to David Raya. I don't know what that Spanish goalkeeper has like in excess that is more like above the performance of Aaron Ramsdale that he has to go for him to become a backup. So as now for me, the only advice I'll give to the team is to keep Aaron Ramsdale as a backup to David Raya because David Raya can't go like all season. For us now, we have a lot of games that we are going to play. So definitely we will need the services of Aaron Ramsdale. So it's better we keep him than to sell him to Wolverhampton. This season we are playing more matches, and we know we have to get the best. So we have to keep the best. Yeah.
We have to get the best and we have to keep the best. And thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you very much for your time. And if you just join us and you are new, you know the drill. Hit the subscription button, like and share the video. And we're going to see you in the next video.